That's right. That's right. All right, guys. I'll be listening, and if I can comment, I will.
Okay. All right. Take care.
That works.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna just make sure. Yep.
I got a prezi today.
Oh.
I got my Critical Role Kickstarter package.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
You have to show us that.
I will. Give me a sec.
Hey, when are they actually going to air the season, or did they give you a movie or like a DVD of the first few episodes or something?
I haven't kept track, so
They're now. I don't know whether it's considered their new season, but they've got somebody else running as DM, and Matt is a player now. They are actively doing they're like 4 or 5 episodes.
Well, no, I meant the animated series. The animated series.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea about that.
As far as I know, Galibon, that's also just like a temporary campaign, like a mini campaign.
It was temporary. It was 8 episodes. I didn't even watch them. It's 8-episode temporary campaign.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen them. I've been going back and watching through the old campaigns. Just because I like to always have a series I'm watching, because you watch other talented DMs and you can't help but pick up ideas. So it's like,
oh my god, that is so cute. It is. It's cute. That is cool. She's showing off some of her goodies.
Oh yeah, there you go. There's your trinket.
Yep.
Cool.
We did the $400 thing because I wanted the bag really badly. So Vox Machina pins.
Nice.
A dice bag.
Okay, well, we will have to look at the rest of that at the break, because by the clock on the system tray, it says it's 8 p.m. That must mean that I am DM Galibond, and on the Discord and in the Roll20, I am joined by most of the players. We are down one player, Paul, who is under the weather and sadly won't be with us. And we have another player who is running a little late. James will be joining us a little bit later in the evening. So as of now, we have Thaldor, played by Michael. We have Falager, played by Ken. And we have Belle, played by Ivy. And they are on the Discord, and Ken is making his way into the Roll20 as we speak.
Oh.
And last time we saw our heroes, they were in the in the first floor of Lyn Armaal. Lyn Armaal, this cloud giant castle, which is now a castle with a new owner, if you will, the bronze dragon Felagos. And Count Thulin and Felagos have reached a peaceful arrangement based on the safety of the 2 cloud giant children, the niece and nephew of the count, and that would be Alastra and Kaltar. And Alastra and Kaltar, they are coming out. This is on the morning before the party are getting ready to depart. They've done all of their studying. They have had a good rest. They have eaten a good meal. And there is still something of a favor promised, in a favor owed. And Felgalos being a lawful good bronze dragon, if he makes a deal, he intends to honor it. And so he is standing there, and he looks around and he says, where is Faerun? I have some business with him. And he looks at Thaldor and Bell and says, one of you go get Faerun and bring him out here for me.
Thaldor has a smile on his face and says, Bell, do you mind finding him real quick?
Be my pleasure. I can find anyone in like 3 seconds. Just she'll kind of sniff the air and then she'll run off in a direction.
Okay.
And then she'll start screaming Faerun's name.
In Draconic, I say, Lord Felagos, and bow. Thank you for your hospitality.
And he says, oh, well, I have much to thank you and the other small folk for. And Count Thelin looks at you and says, I too have much to thank you for. Lord Felgalos and myself, we begin to see the importance of making sure that paths that our peoples have trod in the past are not written in stone. They may be changed, and for the sake of the children, I would like to try to forge a new path ahead. And Felgalos nods, and he says, Thaldor, I appreciate your reminder of the time when giants and dragons worked together, when the entire world was under threat. From the news that you have brought, it seems like we may be approaching a similar time. And perhaps Count Thelin and myself, along with other enlightened dragons and other enlightened giants, can come to the aid of the forces opposing this chaos. And Count Thelin says, yes, we cloud giants, we appreciate and respect the chaos of nature. After all, living among the clouds as we do, we are subject to the eddies and hurricanes and storms of the air. But as you see from our construction of these castles, we do like to bring some order to the chaos. And Felgalos nods and says, Count Thelin, have you spent much time in the mountains? And he says, No, I haven't. Most of the time, my sister preferred to stay in the ocean, but I have always appreciated the various landscapes. And Felgalos says, Well, I have 3 primary lairs that I use. One of those is high in the Sword Mountains. I think perhaps that would be a nice place to dock the castle for a while. I have an extensive library there. Between the resources of your library and the resources of mine, we might be able to find out some information, and perhaps we could even pass something along to Mordenkainen. And Count Thulin is, oh, Mordenkainen. Oh, that would be exciting indeed. Just imagine a giant and a dragon helping Mordenkainen. And the two of them start to chuckle. And so hopefully by this time, Falliger makes his way out to the courtyard.
Yeah, sure. His hair's all combed back and he looks very, very clean. And I'm sorry, it's been quite a while since I could make use of a nice hot bubble bath, and well, these giant-sized baths might as well be like a small infinity pool.
Val keeping her distant, walking a little bit behind him, just with a nasty look on his face, like, ew, he's wet.
And Felgalos says, Master Bard, when you freed me, you asked a boon of me. And I told you that if you and your companions proved to be half the fighters that I thought you might be, that I would offer you an opportunity to soar on the back of a dragon. Do you still wish to experience flight from a dragon's back?
I'd be honored. That'd be quite a tale to be able to sing about.
And then, and you can see over there next to, Count Thulin, Alastra and Kaltar. They're kind of quivering and dancing on their toes, and the niece runs over and she grabs onto Count Thulin's trousers and pulls on it, and he kneels down and she cups her hand into his ear and whispers something to him, and he says, well, I don't know, children. And Felgalos giggles and says, let me guess, Count. Either they are terrified or the children would like to ride as well. And Count Thulin says, well, yes, my niece and nephew, they haven't developed their innate ability to fly yet. They would love to know what it feels like to fly on the back of a dragon. And then Felgalos looks at Falliger and says, Bard, I suppose you do have Featherfall.
Well, yeah, I tend to only use it in emergencies, though.
Well, good. Then that means that the children can hold on to you.
What, you think you think when we're real high up, I should just throw them off, and then they could fall for a while, and they'll just tickle them to death, and then we just slow fall them, right? And it'll be the ride of their life. And then you come down and you spook them, pick them up.
And the dragon looks at you and says, no. If they lose their balance and fall, they will be clinging to you. You will keep them safe.
I mean, okay, but they're going to be living with you. I figured you could just give them a ride anytime you wanted. I thought this was going to be something more special. But sure, I mean, who am I to make a little girl cry?
And Felgalos says, I thought you would see it my way. And Count Thulin says, "Thank you, Master Bard. It will be another 4 or 5 years before the children gain their own ability to fly. Once they do, perhaps they will carry you and fly. If you come back, I will be happy to carry you on my shoulders. And I'm sure the dragon Master Felagos will be able to carry you as well." And so the dragon kneels down and Falliger clambers on, and now these kids are like 4 years old, but they're 6 feet tall.
Like the size of him.
Yeah. So it's like 3 medium creatures getting onto the back of this dragon.
So it's like awkwardly like Falliger in the middle, and then he's got this little girl that's his size that's awkwardly in front of him, and then the boy's sitting behind him.
Yeah.
And he's just like holding on to her, and he's like, "All right." He looks back. He's like, "Don't fall off, kid." You know?
Belle kind of smiles as she kind of screams at Falliger. Can I go too?
What?
And the dragon looks over and says, "I have a passenger limit of 3." And he says, "Count, with your permission." And the Count steps away and says, "But of course."
Hold on a second. Why don't we just make an exception? We'll just take 2 at a time, and then that'll be it. I know it's a little degrading to just resort you to being a pleasure mount, if you will, but you know, it would make me happy if Belle got to fly too. And Count Thulin says, "All right, kids, who's first?" And the girl turns around, reaches behind Falliger, and just starts tickling her brother on the ribs. And the boy, he's like, "Whoa, whoa," and he lets go and he slides off of the dragon. And then the girl sticks out her tongue at him and says, "I'm first." And so Belle, you can hop up. You can hop up on.
She'll jump on. She'll pat the girl on the shoulder and says, "That's my good girl. You get an extra show later."
And so then the dragon looks around him and says, "Clear." And everybody steps like 10 or 15 feet away, and then just with big powerful beats of his wings, he just lifts off of the courtyard, and he then flies up. And Falliger, it's the takeoff is more or less vertical. But then as soon as he gets into the air, he kind of turns in a direction and his snout raises up about like a 40 or 50 degree angle. And so it's like you're just having to kind of cling on with your legs as hard as you can, and find some purchase there on the pinions of his wings, and you can feel the powerful wings there beating, and he is moving forward and moving up at a rather slow rate at first. But then as he gains a little bit of altitude and gets out of this courtyard, he starts to flatten off a little bit, and he really starts to pick up speed. It's really very fast. Belle, you're just got your arms around Falliger's neck, and it's like You feel like if this dragon went too much faster, you'd just be kind of hanging on by your arms, and your whole body would just be sort of flapping out like you were some kind of cloak around Falazur's neck, stringing out behind.
Like struggles to breathe.
She'll sink her teeth, not her teeth, her claws in a little bit, like not trying to, but scaredly trying to grapple on. She's like, no, I don't want it. I don't no. And she kind of like looks forward and tries to the view and is like, no, don't look down, don't look down.
And then the two of you hear this absolute giggle of glee coming from Alastra, the little cloud giant girl, and she says, "We're flying!" And Felgalos lets out a chuckle, and of course that just kind of shakes his entire frame as he chuckles, and he says, "Yes, my dear, we are. We command the skies." And
Falazur's hair is like newly washed, and it's all like, so he found his way into the Countess's like bathroom. It's just like so he smells like of all the things she had in there, and his hair is like looks like it's blowing back. He's got like almost shoulder length hair. It's that long now, and it's just like looks like it's on fire with air, right? So it's just blowing in like Belle's face, and it's just like, and that's what that looks what it looks like.
And by the way,
and he's protectively holding the little girl to make sure she doesn't fall.
Okay,
and he's like, Belle, hold my waist. You're hurting my neck.
She'll just climb up and grab a hold of his hair, and then just deep into his skull like.
Oh my god.
So,
Des, what are you doing?
Once they get ready to take off, or they've taken off, he basically walks over and kind of goes over in between here and looks down, then looks back at the others and like jumps off into the sky, and he will change into a giant eagle.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I am now to a point where
I can fly.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Baldor, what do you do?
Baldor just takes and goes up to one of those big telescopes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Run up to the next level and go to the big telescope.
I go to one of the big spyglasses, and I'm just watching this and laughing my ass off.
Basically just kind of went over there, looked back at his friends and went, "I think I can fly." And he leaps off.
Oh, God.
And none of you guys have ever seen him change into anything that flies.
And for a moment, and Des, you hear a scream, and then you are surprised to see Count Thulin leap off of here, and he looks down and he's frantically looking around, and you realize, he's flying too, because he's a cloud giant.
And about that time, Des comes up out of the clouds as a giant eagle and kind of hovers in front of him, flap, 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 and then takes a nosedive again.
And he looks, and there's like some intelligence in the eagle's eyes. And he says, "Druid, is that you?"
He just kind of screams, "Yippee!"
And then there's an echoing laugh in the sky from the dragon. And then Count Thulin, once he realizes that Des is okay, he comes back, and he comes back over to his nephew. And the dragon flies around for about 15 minutes, and you can see, Falazur, that the castle is indeed out over the open ocean. and it looks like it is built onto a cloud, and because when you go under the castle, you just see the underside of a cloud, and then there are other clouds around, but none of them appear to have a castle on them. And you have the smell of the salt air and everything, and it's a couple hours after sunrise at this point, not quite mid-morning, but after most decent people would have had breakfast and gotten into the office and started working and everything. But for you adventurers, it could be the middle of your day. It could be when you're just ready to lay down and have your rest after fighting enemies all night. But in this case, you are enjoying a flight on a dragon, and that lasts maybe 15 minutes, and he kind of circles around and inspects the castle from the air. And go ahead.
Does he give us like a dive bomb down to the sea, to the ocean, and then give us a low flyby on the waves?
He appears mainly to be interested in using this as an opportunity to kind of observe the castle, and you get the sense that he's sort of doing some kind of flyby. He also probably doesn't want to get too far away from the castle because of the fact that he does have the Count's niece with him, and not want to get too far out of sight for the comfort of the giant. But after about 15 minutes, he says, "All right."
Hey, Belle, you want me to throw you off? I'll cast Featherfall on you.
She just screams in his ear.
This time the eagle is caught up with you guys.
Yeah, you're blowing out your mic, so you'll have to speak what you would yell.
Oh, sorry. What? Are you insane? She kind of looks down and she gets a little bit more dizzy, and she kind of loosens their grip, but then she gets scared and grips harder, and then nope, not doing that again. And she completely shuts her eyes and hurls into a ball.
And about this time, here comes Des. Flap, 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 flap.
And and so about the time you come up, Belgalos will look over at you and will sort of let you fly in formation for about a minute, but then he turns back towards the castle, and he glides down in sort of lazy circles, and then as he approaches the courtyard, he begins doing that thing that flying creatures do, flapping to slow down. And then he touches down, and it's a very gentle landing, much more graceful and gentle than you would think something that size would be capable of doing. But he touches down, and he says, "Hello there, Belle, Alastra. Did you enjoy your flights?" And Belle, you get to answer first.
Belle has a dazed look over her face, and she kind of slides off, and she kind of sticks up a finger, and then she falls on over and passes out.
And Alastra says, Oh yes, Lord Belgalos. That was so much fun. I hope we get to fly some more. Maybe you can teach me how to do some flying tricks when I learn how to fly." And Felgalos says, "Oh yes, I will be happy to do that. Now run along, your brother. He is owed a ride." And so she gets off of the dragon and Kaltar comes running over, and he jumps up on the dragon to sit next to Faerun, and then Felgalos looks around and says, "I have room for one more of the small folk if anyone wishes to have a ride."
Meanwhile, Dez is sitting up on the ledge, kind of preening a little bit.
Okay.
Waiting.
That would be a cue, Thaldor. If you have any notion about wanting to ride on a dragon, you would have an opportunity at this point.
No, I'm just humbled. I'm thank you, but I'm fine.
And he says, "Very well." And
his back, he feels a little bit of something warm in the back of his neck. He realizes he's got some scratch marks that were bleeding a little bit.
Yeah. And Felgalos says, "Faerun, Kaltar, are you ready?" And the boy says, "Yes, Lord Felgalos, I'm ready." And Faerun, you're ready for round number 2.
Yeah, he'll just say, "All right, you got the boys this time. You could be a little bit more adventurous if you like."
And he says, "Very well." And he launches into the air, and he flies around. And this time, he does a couple of circuits around the cloud that the storm giant, or that the cloud giant castle is sitting on. And then he heads over to towards another cloud, and he says, "Have you ever wondered what the inside of a cloud is like?"
I mean,
that's a quick.
Yes and no.
Oh, well, you're about to find out. So am I. And so then he, and you can make me an insight check if you wish. Oh, 25. All right. Yes. You can tell that he is completely kidding when he says he's about to find out what's inside a cloud. He does do this thing where he sort of tucks his wings a little bit, and you can feel him like gaining some speed. And he sort of dives down towards the edge of the upcoming cloud, and he says, "Hold on like you've never held on before, Bard." And suddenly the entire world just goes gray, and everything except the dragon underneath you is this uniform gray. And as you go along, suddenly you feel this bump, and then this bump, bump, and this bump, 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 and the dragon is just kind of getting jostled around and bumping around as he's going through this cloud. And then he starts laughing, and he says, "Oh, this tickles." And he then you then kind of sense, more than tell, because everything is a uniform gray, you sense kind of your stomach is beginning like to come up into your throat, like you are falling at a very rapid rate. And then a few seconds later, you come out of the cloud, and you see that indeed the dragon has folded his wings into a dive, and he is diving down towards the ocean, which is coming up at you at a very rapid rate. And there's something that Faerun may have experienced before, depending on whether or not Faerun has ever climbed any mountains. No, Faerun would have experienced it before because he went down in the Underdark. There was a time when you guys were traveling down into the Underdark where, as you would gradually go, every now and then you'd feel like this weird sensation in your ears, and then as you'd work your jaw, your ears would pop, and that sensation would be relieved. Well, now that's like coming faster and faster and faster, because this thing is just diving down, probably much faster than it normally flies, heading towards the waves and below. And you hear the Kaltar. He just lets out this this scream of absolute joy as you guys are going down, and then the dragon does start to extend his wings, and he levels out a little bit, and he doesn't get down like right on the wave tops, but he's maybe 20 or 30 feet above the waves. And as you all are looking down, you can see below you, kind of as slightly different darker shapes in the water. You can see like the forms of enormous sea creatures, probably like whales, that are swimming along, and they're not breaching or coming up for air, but you just see them underneath you as you're flying along. And then over there you see a splash in the water, and the dragon turns a little bit and begins to head in that direction of that splash. And then as you get maybe as you go a few more seconds, you see this enormous shark jumps up out of the water. Like, there's first of all this seal comes flying out of the water, and then this enormous shark, probably about 50 feet long. This shark comes up out of the water, going after that seal, and the dragon, you can just sort of feel this like tension, and he just sort of opens his mouth, and this bolt of lightning goes out and slams into the shark, and the seal continues going over and dives into the water, and the shark just kind of hangs in the air, almost quivering and smoking, and then just splashes down. And as you guys fly over, it's just sort of continuing to spasm and quiver, and the dragon laughs and says, "Not today, shark." And then the dragon begins to fly back up, and of course the kid, he thinks that's the most hilarious thing he's ever seen. He thinks that's awesome. And so the dragon then makes these slow circles as he climbs back up towards the cloud, where the castle is, and he comes up and he lands, and he says, "Oh, that was fun." And he says, Kaltar, did you enjoy that? And he says, oh yes, Lord Felgos, that was great. I can't wait until I tell my uncle about the shark. And he says, well, be careful how much you tell your sister. She is a girl after all, and she has delicate sensibilities. So he says, all right. And he slides off and he says, thank you, Mr. Falliger. And then he runs over and he starts jumping up and down. You can just tell like he's so excited with whatever he's gonna try to tell his uncle. And then Felgalos says, hello, Falliger. Would you say our bargain is met?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, maybe one day we can ride into battle together.
Oh, well, if it ever comes to that, then I hope that if I ever have to go into battle with small folk again, they are as worthy as you and your colleagues. It would be my honor to fight by your side again, if we must. Hopefully this time, Count Thulin will be at our side as well. But let us hope that it never comes to that.
Well, may we always be friends. And he kind of just pats him on the neck. And he slides off.
Okay. And then Felgalos is sitting there looking extremely pleased with himself. You guys begin to realize, dragons have this. They're always known as having huge egos, and you saw a bit of that in talking with Thumberchod when you were down in Gracklestug, the dragon who keeps the forges of the city running all the time. You saw a bit of that arrogance, but now you can kind of see, this dragon who has done something that few, if any, dragons have ever done, forging a partnership with a cloud giant and living in a cloud giant's castle as the lord of that castle while cloud giants still live, and helping to protect cloud giant young. This is clearly something he's decided has made him, he will go down in the annals of dragon history as one of the great heroes of his race. You can already kind of see it being etched on his features. So he's exceedingly proud of himself. Go ahead.
Is Belle passed out, asleep, or what's
the
deal?
She's passed out. She's completely passed out in the middle of this place.
Yeah, they were gone for about 15-20 minutes the second time, so probably at some point one or two of the other party members would have come over, made sure Belle was all right, and
Des kind of hops over as an eagle. They have the weirdest waddle.
Yeah.
They're not that type of...
pokes her with his foot, yeah, she's asleep.
Walks up and nibbles on her hair, preens, preens her hair. Nibble.
Elijah walks over and he
I love Des, because I pet the feathers, because I just want to feel the feathers of a giant eagle.
Okay.
He's kind of ooh, that feels good.
Elijah walks over and he just leans down and he picks up Belle and he's like, oh. He's realizes she needs a bath.
Uh-oh.
And Dratz, thank you. Doors of Fear, Dratz has given you advantage, so you
Thank
have
you, Dratz.
chat. You have chat room advantage, and has also given the DM advantage. So thank you. And yes, so appreciate you coming by and joining us this evening. All right.
I look at Falliger when he says that, and I wink and I say, "Hey, is your bathtub still warm?"
Well, it's weird with this cloud giant magic. For some reason, that water's always hot. It's always warm.
So I pat him on the back real quick and said, "You think we could take care of that real quick?"
Man, you know how angry she'd be at me if she had to wake up mid thrown into a tub.
Well, we can always ask Mulek to make us invisible. Then it'd be funnier than hell.
Well, that's just kind of creepy. I don't know.
I mean, we're gonna watch her. I mean, we throw her in and run. What are you talking about?
All right. But let me do it, because she'll forgive me. Well, she won't forgive you.
Well, that's fair. But if she could catch me is the question.
Yeah, she could catch you.
I don't think you
understand how fast she is when she wants to be.
That's fair.
And so we just like take her, and then he takes her up to the Countess's bathroom, and he gets the bubble bath ready, and he just picks her up, and he's like, "All right, Valdor, when I do this, you just haul ass."
All right, I'm waiting at the door.
And he just drops her into a bubble bath.
Before make me a perception check at disadvantage, because you have said you're asleep, but somebody has been, or a big giant eagle has been preening you, and now somebody's picked you up and has been carrying you, so there's a chance that you might have some awareness.
Sound of running water.
So
water isn't running, the bathtub's still full.
Yeah. So a 19.
I get more of a disadvantage on that. Just 1 second.
Okay.
What's more of a disadvantage?
No, just
so
okay.
19.
You are 19. On point.
Okay, here's how I'm gonna say this. Since you put it that way, you realize that the person carrying you must be Falliger. Maybe you can tell by his scent or something like that. You can tell it's Falliger, and your mind says, "Oh, yeah, Falliger, he's my friend. He would never do anything."
Did I fall or something? I should kind of rub her eyes.
And actually, I'm gonna say no. You don't say anything. You just allow yourself to be carried, and you're like,
she's all snuggled and comfortable, like, oh
yeah. She's all comfortable and everything like that. And then with the 19,
begin to purr a little bit.
Yeah, with the 19, you notice there's a strange change in the air. The air gets a little bit warmer, and it gets a little bit more moist, and there's perfumey scents in the air, a heavier scent of perfumes in the air. And you're thinking, oh, now where could he be taking me? And then about that time, you feel him his muscles tense a little bit, and you feel him push you away, and you realize you're up in the air, and your eyes open.
Wait. I just want to say, I don't think Falliger's that big of a dick where he would just like free fall her into a tub. I think he would just kind of like ease her in pretty quickly, and she probably wouldn't. It's like when someone like puts your hand or like a couple of fingers in like warm water when you're sleeping or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So he kind of like puts her in, because he's not like he wouldn't be that much of an asshole.
Let's ask him a question first. Have you ever tried to bathe a cat?
Well, his plan's very simple. He's going to put you in the warm bubble bath, and then he's going to beeline it to the door and close the door. And that's his plan. That's his plan.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay, all right. So, because you had a 19 on your perception, you immediately feel the water as he starts to lower you in. So, Bell and Faerun, I want you both to roll initiative to see who reacts more quickly, and then you guys get to choose what you do. So click on your token and no, that's all right. I'll put you
it didn't count. She didn't click her token.
No, I'll add a turn for her. So it's your eyes spring open as you feel this. Now, of course, he is invisible. You didn't realize that because your eyes were closed all this time, but now you realize he's invisible. As you feel the water on your fur as he's lowering you into the tub, what is your reaction? What would you do?
Well, if it was lowering me in the tub, then he would be scratched whenever Belle starts freaking out.
Okay.
Her clothes will be out. She'll just be trying to scratch everywhere, just try and grab onto anything and everything.
Okay,
Yes.
make a melee attack roll with disadvantage because your target is invisible.
Well, she is grappled. Technically,
she's held, but she's not grabbed. Grappled implies that you're physically restraining her and trying to keep her from moving. You're more or less just holding her as you lower her into the water.
Yeah, he's in this awkward lowering position. Yeah.
Yeah. So melee attack with disadvantage, Belle.
Just do it this way. A 7?
Okay, yeah. So completely misses. That's your action. What would your movement be?
Pounce and jump and run.
Okay, pounce and jump and run out of the bathroom. Okay. Mulek, this I'm sorry, yeah, Thaldor. This she's not a scalded cat because the water's not that hot, but this dripping wet cat just comes leaping, like all four paws find purchase on Faerun's shoulder, and use him as sort of a launching pad. And she comes just, arcing through the air towards
the door shut as quick as I can.
Okay.
Roll initiative so you can do it faster.
I have +5 to initiative. We'll see.
Yeah, actually, go ahead and roll initiative, and if you don't beat a 21, she gets out before you can
This is no
close
fun.
the door. So.
You better beat that 21.
24.
Oh!
And my strength
Now you've also locked Faerun in there.
I know.
Invisible because we had Mulek cast invisibility on him.
So, Belle, as you make for the door closes, and yeah,
real quick,
and you're now stuck in this bathroom with you think it's Faerun, but you can't see him.
Perception check.
So we're not going to continue this as a combat, but just sort of we'll have a scene there. The invisible Faerun, the soaked Belle. What do you guys say at this point?
Bo will be at the door and she'll be kind of scratching at the door and says, "You should have locked me in here. I hate the one. Why did you do such a thing? That's just cruel. I almost fainted. I almost died. I fell off the back of the thing and you locked me in here and shoved me in the bath." And she'll kind of be pushing and slamming herself next to the door.
Thaldor piece of paper. He always carries parchment and quill. He scratched on a piece of paper. Sorry, it needed to happen. And then just ... and slides it under the door.
She'll look at it. She'll just stare at it. And then she says, I have my rock!
I don't think, Palliser is in this awkward position where he's like, okay, do I just pretend that I'm still invisible in here while she continues to do whatever? Or do I just, try to get myself out of this situation? I think it'd be more prudent to do the latter. So he won't drop invisibility because he's a little nervous. Bale?
She'll kind of look around and she'll kind of narrow her eyes and try and see where and who's talking to. Well, she knows who, but where exactly it's coming from.
Now, don't be too mad. It was just supposed to be a joke, but but let's be real. You baby girl, you kind of stink a little bit, and you need to take a bath.
Don't say that to my face! She'll kind of look around. She'll try and pinpoint exactly where the voice is coming from as her ears are moving left and right, trying to find exactly.
Daldor scratches on another piece of paper real quick. We love you and care about you. Hence why we did this. ... Slides underneath the door.
We thought it would be funny.
At this point, I know it's you. You're the only one that writes on pieces of paper and throws it under the door.
All right.
I can hear you.
Palliser drops his invisibility. All right, now, Belle, don't watch your temper. I don't want to be in here while you're,
what? Oh,
well,
preening yourself or whatever tabaxis do, but you just.
Does Belle have prestidigitation?
No, but she does have something kind of better.
Okay, all right. Because with prestidigitation, you can do the same thing as basically taking a bath. And
it's a fancy word for magic. You can clean yourself.
Yeah.
Well, Belle, try it. Look how luxurious this bubble bath is.
Wet.
I know, but it feels really good. Why don't you just try it?
What?
I'll leave. I don't want to be in here when you're taking a bath, Belle. Just
I have something very simple for this type of thing. She'll kind of reach into her belt and pull out of her stone, her cleansing stone, and she says, "You see this? It cleans." And she'll kind of throw it at him.
This time.
Look, I'll do anything you want if you'll just take a bath.
About this time.
I'll owe you one favor.
Go ahead, Des.
About this time, an otter comes running in underneath the door.
And Daldor just stares at it. It's like, hi, Des.
And goes doing that little hopsy run that they do, and clambers up to the top of the bathtub and gives that little squeak that they do, and then looking at Belle, running back and forth across the edge of the bathtub, and then gives another noise, and then leaps into the water
and starts
kind of like an invitation of come play with me.
She'll kind of look at Des and be easily distracted by animals, and she'll kind of look, and then she'll kind of go into her hunt mode, and she'll kind of race over to try and grab a hold of it. Probably ending up otter, in the bathtub.
Top swimmer. It's woo!
When I hear Belle splash in the tub, I crack the door and motion for Faerun to run. Come on.
I'll try to sneak out with disadvantage.
Okay, well, all right. I'm just going to say that Belle is distracted by the otter, so you guys can get out and close the door. In a few minutes later, with the rest of the party none the wiser to whether Belle used her cleansing stone or to whether Belle actually took a bath. She emerges from the Countess's bathroom, all nicely cleaned. And
oh no, it's not that simple.
Oh, okay.
No. So
okay.
she's thinking that they would be sitting near each other or waiting for us to get out something. Great.
Me and Thatcher would probably be near each other. Yeah, we'd be
to both of them, soaked and wet. She'll go right next to them, and then she'll just rub her whole body right next onto them, on their clothing and everything.
And the other does the same thing. Walks up and just starts rubbing all over.
That's okay. When Dez does that, I just scratch him underneath the chin. It's all right, Dez. Oh, so it's all good.
Fellas, he reaches down and he playfully scratches behind Belle's ears because he knows it bothers her.
You have found her kryptonite.
And she'll melt like butter until she grabs her stone and she kind of rubs it, says like a little kind word, and then she's dry again while you guys are left soaked.
That's okay. And I just shake,
See, now that wasn't so bad, right?
But I reach into my bag and pull out a piece of jerky. Here you go, Belle. Hope it makes you feel better.
And Des jumps up, grabs the jerky, and runs off.
Oh!
Piece of jerky. Here you go.
You were about to get an angry Belle chasing you. Okay.
So the scene ends with Belle chasing the otter.
Yes. So instead of it being mid-morning, it's more like midday when the party is actually finished with their antics and shenanigans at the Cloud Giant Castle, and they are ready to use the conch of teleportation. And we will just say that, for sake of convenience, that Mulek and Krenraid are gathered around along with, Des.
Yeah.
Do you want to take Sangzor, or do you want to leave Sangzor in the care of Count Thulin and his niece and nephew?
They'll eat Sangzor.
Well,
no, they won't.
Verify.
They won't.
He's like,
they won't eat.
He's a goat from this place, and he'll actually pretty much try to get from Sangzor if he wants to stay here, where there's some nice gardens. He'll be well cared for. Or if he wants to go with, and go ahead.
Sangzor will, Sangzor will sort of communicate, say, be safe with big man. Can eat flowers.
Well, I'll verify with him to find out if he'll let you eat his flowers. And then I'll go up and basically say, if I leave Sangzor here, he is a pretty big goat. Is he allowed to eat plants and stuff?
And Count Thulin crosses his arms and taps his chin. And he looks over at his niece and his nephew, and he looks over at the dragon, and he smiles, and he looks back at his niece and nephew, and then he looks back at Des, and he says, I think my niece and nephew need a little bit of responsibility. Yes, I can set aside a part of the garden that the goat can feed on. We will grow plants that are nutritious and that we find that the goat likes. I will put my niece and nephew in charge of keeping him safe, and making sure that he does not run amok. We will not harm him, but if he gets too out of hand, we may have to find some sort of enclosure for him.
There's a way of taking him to the ground and finding him a nice forest to head off in. He's able to take care of himself, but I think right now would be a good chance of just him having some downtime. He's been through quite a adventure with us.
And he says, yes, I believe that Lord Felgalos said something about visiting one of his lairs in the mountains. If Sangzor becomes a burden, we can give him his freedom in the mountains when we reach the dragon's lair.
Sounds good to me. Until he gives Sangzor a big couple of good scritches.
And Sangzor goes, bah, and then in his, in the speech of Beast and Leaf, he does come over and he just puts his forehead against Dez's forehead, and you get this extreme sense of gratitude that he, having been born and bred and grown up in Barovia, he had no idea how dark, how oppressive, how just dismal that place was. And you have taken him to some place that is, as far as he's concerned, this is like goat heaven.
Okay.
And it's like he's just really grateful for the fact that you got him out of that place.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, then I don't feel so bad about leaving him behind. So,
yeah,
I will say my goodbyes and then head over to where the rest of the group is.
Okay. All right. So, Sangzor will come over here, and Sangzor very quickly grows 2 attachments in the form of the Cloud Giant boy and girl. We have Bill, we have Dez, we have Falazur, we have Mulek, we have the Shield Guardian, and we have Krenraid. That will all get over here, and then the dragon will come over here, and then there's kind of that moment where the dragon sits kind of on his haunches and raises one of his forelegs, and Count Thulin raises one hand at his elbow. The boy and girl, they raise their hand, and then they all start doing sort of the Beverly Hillbillies wave to you all. And you find yourselves ready to use the conch. Now, did we decide last time who's actually using the conch of teleportation?
Well, I mean, I think the best blower here is Kinraid, and he isn't here, so we can't go anywhere.
Well, if we want Krenraid to use it, he can. Basically, let me just make sure. I think you have to attune to it. So
maybe we'll just make Thaldor do it.
Make me blow the conch. Thing is huge.
Yeah, it's a
group effort.
I mean, I'm strong. I mean, I could pick it up.
There's no chance. You
have attunes available slots is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
I have an available slot, I think.
Yeah, and you can unattune from something and then retune to it again if you need it.
Gotcha.
As we established before, because of the rune inscribed on this thing, it's only going to go to one destination. And because it is keyed to a certain destination, there is no chance of a mishap or the spell being off target. It's always going to go to that area. So it doesn't require somebody who is able to cast spells to use it.
So, I guess I can do that. I'll attune to it. Probably would have done that the night before.
Yeah. Okay.
Attune to it, and then just when everybody's ready to go, I'll talk with Mulek and Valiger and everybody and be like, "Are we ready to go? This thing ain't light."
Yeah, it's like a 20-pound, 20-pound conch shell. So you guys, you all get ready, and everyone sort of waves to the giants and the dragon and Sangzor, and then Thaldor raises this conch, holds it up, and there's this very haunting and piercingly beautiful note that sounds like a note as though heard through the water. And it has this sort of ethereal quality where the note sort of quavers a little bit as though you're hearing it, or as though it's being affected by waves of water. And it's this pure tone, and as you blow on that, Thaldor, you realize as you start blowing on it, suddenly you can't stop blowing on it. The air is being pulled out of your lungs through this conch, and you can't pull it away from your mouth. And there's like a moment of panic, a little bit, and as you continue to blow on it, these motes of mystical energy swirl around the group and rise up around you, and suddenly everything around you is a shimmering wall of color, and then that shimmering wall drops. And when it drops, you are no longer in the Cloud Giant Castle. You are in fact here.
I'll kind of look over and just scratch his back a little bit and says, "Well, thank God you blew on it, because if I blew on it, I know I'm agile, but I don't think my lungs can take that."
Grab Sangzor with us.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Whoops. I put Sangzor there last week. I didn't put the Shield Guardian there last week. So let me go grab the Shield Guardian instead. I knew something would go wrong.
Yeah, we don't want a Hopes Floats movie going on here.
Yeah. Christ, so. All right. All right. So there we go. Now, you guys are all here in this area, and let me tell you, Johnny, tell them where they have arrived. Okay. Okay. Anyone who teleports to Maelstrom appears atop a glowing glyph carved into the floor of an alcove in the northeast corner of this rough-hewn chamber. The moist walls here are covered with bioluminescent lichen, snails, starfish, and barnacles. Tiny, harmless crabs crawl across the floor, avoiding the sigil. And as soon as you arrive in this chamber, you hear music. There's a powerful female voice accompanied by the deep, haunting tones of a masterfully played pipe organ. The music comes from within a spiral staircase that is over here. So the music is coming out of this spiral staircase, and you can look and see that those stairs rise up. Then next to the staircase is a 40-foot deep circular pool. And there's a hallway that extends to the east and down this way. Hallway extends to the east down this way, and a hallway extends north up this way. And that's what you can see from your vantage point at the moment.
Bill, I know you don't like water, but apparently around us, there's lots of it.
Yeah, there's no...
Hey, Galabon, how much time has passed since Belle's bath?
Oh, well, she used that stone to dry herself off.
No, I meant how long? How much time between then and the time we teleported?
Maybe an hour at most. Okay. Yeah, maybe an hour at most.
So I stayed as an otter.
Okay.
And as soon as we get where we're at, you said there's snails and what else?
Yeah, there's snails. There's snails and starfish on the walls, which are moist. They, so it's like how sometimes you go to a tidal pool and you'll see starfish on
what was
the
on
rocks.
The ground?
Small harmless crabs just scuttling around.
So he's like, ooh. And as you guys are sitting there looking around, you hear crunch, 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 crunch.
I'll look at the same idea. She kind of grabs Falazor's little knife from him and says, "Lunchtime!" And she'll kind of go over and stab one right through in the middle of the shell and says, "Anyone got a fire?"
Yeah, I don't think a fire would be a great thing to do right now, Bill, but good initiative.
Okay. All right. So,
I'm with you guys.
Hey,
yeah, Mulek's here.
Hey,
he'll agree with a fire.
So, Mulek would have. So something Mulek may have done before. Sorry, I just missed the. Well, I got on after we had just teleported. But would Thaldor have shared what they had learned in the librry?
Yes.
With us?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Both of us would.
Oh yeah, we would have. Yeah.
Okay, so before we had teleported, I would have taken 10 minutes to cast water breathing on everybody.
Oh, okay. So you guys all have water breathing. You have arrived in a dry area.
Okay.
This is not a flooded area.
That's fine. But water breathing is good for 24 hours. So
okay. Let's find what's a good water breathing. Okay, I'm only using this because it kind of looks like bubbles. The Shield Guardian doesn't breathe, so I'm not going to give it to him. But let's see. So we'll just put this little heart thing that looks like it has bubbles on half of it.
I look over at Mulek. I'm like, at least we don't have to worry about drowning now.
Yeah, I thought maybe, plan for all contingencies in this watery place.
Yeah.
I swear I rub off on you every day.
But with the fact that there's snails and starfish on the walls and crabs on the floor, and the fact that everything is moist, it's like, yeah, this could easily be flooded. You get the sense that from time to time it is. But now you guys are here, and I'm going to give you all a choice. Would you like to begin exploring now, or would you like to take a break early and then when we get back from our break, start exploring?
Take a break's fine with me.
Yeah. Break's fine.
Okay. All right. So I have about 17 after the hour. Dratz says that there was an error of 4,000 on the stream. I double checked. We are still broadcasting sound, so we're not having the same issue we had Sunday. But I noticed that in John's stream last night, Twitch was acting up, and it dropped him several times and he had to restart. So I'm going. Oh, Drat said he refreshed on his end and it worked. So maybe it was something on his end. All right. So I don't have to split the recording. The recording is good. Recording will be in one piece, even if the stream somehow is broken into multiple pieces. I can never tell that until the end of the session anyway. All right, so I'm going to bring us back to the slate. I'm going to bring up the music. We are going to take our break. We will be back in about 10 minutes. Viewers, thank you guys for hanging out with us and joining us this evening. The party is now in Maelstrom, and they will begin exploring that when we return for the second half of our session on Sword Coast Chronicles. All right, I'm going to mute and go grab a drink. Talk to you later.
All right, Heather, show off the goodies. Oh, that is too cool.
All jazz hands.
Yes, of course, Scanlan.
Jazz hands. I can make pork chops and spring vegetables.
So, this was the other one this was what I thought originally was the video, but it's
oh
not.
My God, them daggers.
Dagger.
What are they made of?
They're made out of metal. They're letter openers of all things.
Oh wow!
Wow.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. I just want to stab somebody with it.
Oh my goodness gracious! There.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh wow, it is cool.
Trying to get it to focus. So yeah, but they're
really cool.
They're metal. But
I can't wait till this series comes out, though. I just can't wait till it actually comes out. It's supposed to be on Amazon Prime, though, that they said it first.
Right, but the I guess it was Amazon Prime. But the thing is the people that helped pay for it, they all get to view it first before it goes out on Amazon Prime. So then of course you already saw these
pins.
Oh yeah,
they're pins, and you saw Trinket earlier for those.
Yeah, Trinket.
Oh, funny.
Let's see here. Sticker set.
Nice. So the animation looks good. I think the drawing styles and stuff they got looks great.
Let's see here. So showed you the daggers. Then of course you also got a pouch with a VM on it. It's a leather pouch with a set of dice in it.
Nice.
Is that the thing that you really wanted? I caught you saying that you guys spent quite a bit because there was something you wanted.
What I wanted was this bad boy.
Whoa. What is it, like purse size? Jeez.
Yeah, I'm back.
It's a bag of holding.
Right?
It is a bag of holding.
It is a bag of holding, yeah.
It is.
Oh, that's nice.
That's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
It looks like really nice quality too.
Canvas.
It's wax canvas.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So, but then I think the only other thing, well, there was a deck of cards in there, and then there was a.
Sweet.
Wow, that is sweet.
So, but yeah, I really wanted the canvas bag more than anything. So yeah, it definitely smells like waxed canvas. But
at least they supplied one, because people that got the the Power Armor edition of Fallout 4 didn't get a canvas bag for their 76. The Power Armor edition 76 to hold the Power Armor helmet in. It was a cheap bag, and it's supposed to be in a canvas military bag, and they didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, you know,
they did it, but it was like the shittiest quality. It wasn't the quality they promised.
It wasn't canvas. No,
well, and the thing of it is, though, is like this Kickstarter. You know, I think since they pretty much had, what was it, $3 million in the first day.
Yeah, they could afford to do good stuff.
No, it was like 1.3 million, and then by the second day they had 3 million.
Yeah, it doubled.
They were sitting there going, "Yeah, what do we do now?"
Make an animated series, and then Amazon came and said, "Oh, we'll buy it and we'll make it our property."
Right, but I think part of that again is the people that were the backers for this. They get the first watch of it before it goes on to Amazon.
Yeah, that was their promise. Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, so that's the box full of goodies.
Oh yeah.
So.
All right, guys. What I miss? I heard Belle got a bath or something.
Yeah.
Very cruel bath.
Anything else
no.
disclosed before we teleported here?
They rolled around on the dragon.
Yeah, I caught part of that. I'm bummed I wasn't there because I would have. I don't know if you saw what I typed in, but I seriously would have done that.
I did.
The dragon, yeah.
Oh.
I was hoping that Gally would verbalize what you said.
Yeah, he didn't. So I'm just gonna say, okay, well, I guess I saved those spell slots. So.
Bill did not have she had a cruel beginning, but then she got to play with an otter in a bathtub. So
right,
I don't know how terrible that would have been.
And I don't remember exactly what all did you learn about this place from the library. All I caught was like there was a lot of water.
I learned
3,000 feet deep.
There's a lot of
we're 3,000 feet deep, like
under the water. Yeah,
under the ocean. Yeah,
under the sea.
Okay, so definitely under the sea. Okay.
This whole keep is it's the seeding power of all storm giants. So this is where the king sits.
For who?
Storm giants.
Storm giants.
Storm giants. So okay. The top dogs.
Right.
This is a big beautiful castle / it's the seated power for all of them. And then so we're 3,000 feet deep. There's magical spheres and things like that basically picture Atlantis.
There's
that can hold it's basically spheres of control water. So all the water is held outside of these spheres, and you can breathe the natural oxygen. Or they can a
lot of food.
They can let water flood in at any time they want. Basically, I think.
All right. So good thing I took this spell then.
Yeah. They're amphibious, so they can breathe both air and water, and they have some innate spells. I'll have to look over them again. But that's all. And then I learned a little bit about I think their culture and some musical instruments and things like that.
And we're here to free the King Hecaton that's been imprisoned by who? I don't remember who.
I don't even remember why we're here.
Yeah, we're here to free King Hecaton. He's in prison, and we have to break him out. Well, that's the question now. Has someone else taken over this castle from the storm giants, or have they usurped the king and there's someone else running this place?
That's why I begged. I was like, someone to take notes last week because he was explaining it to me. And I was like, I'm not even gonna bother trying to type this out.
I know it's something about saving King Hecaton.
I meant to re-listen and
I could have
but I forgot to re-listen.
Yeah, I don't remember. Do you remember anything else about?
I just know that, like you said, they can flood chambers. It's great construction. Mine went into the making of the place. And then it was 3,000 feet underwater. It's surrounded by water. You don't want to go outside.
It's built into a beautiful reef / cliff or something like that.
Yeah. Also, that the reason that Mulek, the reason you gave me the gem is seeing in true sight, because there's changelings or something here too that aren't what they're supposed to be.
Yes.
They're holding on to the king or something.
Yeah,
someone's undercover and threw the king in the bus, and
this will be our biggest challenge as a group. There's shit down here. I mean, we could easily die.
And we don't want to go in a threatening posture. I wrote that down.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm guessing a crab on a knife is not a good way to start it anymore.
Probably not.
I don't think so. But
Hey, there's a nice little pool over there where you can get rid of any incriminating evidence. So before we start this part in earnest, welcome back from break, everyone.
Yes.
Let me bring the music back down so we're not competing with that, and I'll move us back over to our map. All right. Since there were a few but not many notes taken last week, I will let you guys do intelligence checks to see how much you remember about the plight of King Hecaton and what Mordenkainen told you.
What?
Just a straight, just click on intelligence.
Oh, okay.
A straight intelligence check, yes, and not a saving throw.
Intelligence? What could go wrong?
That don't seem right.
Okay. All right.
I should say that every time I roll because I always roll.
Wait, I get advantage. I'm rolling advantage on this one. That 12 is garbage.
Okay.
Why does it keep on saying plus?
That's even worse.
2? Is that a
no, I'm good
thing?
Look at your character sheet, Ivy. Is intelligence one? No. You should have a at this level. You should have a what are your checks that have proficiency? Do you have proficiency on intelligence checks?
Well, I think those are just on saving throws, right? So
okay, all right.
It's just going to be whatever your intelligence modifier is.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing.
Yeah, it's on everything.
Anyway,
it's always 3 + 2 and things like that.
Okay,
Maybe
we'll have to look at your. We'll have to look at your character sheet. Maybe there might be some feature that gives you an automatic +2 on things. That could be a bard thing, whatever. So anyway,
jack of all trades, maybe.
Yeah,
that's it. That's where you're getting the bonus +2 from. Is jack of all trades. All right. So, with that deviation, yes, the three people that know things are Dez and Mulek and Falliger. What all three of you remember is that King Hecaton has been kidnapped.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, Gally, to interrupt you. I have keen mind. I would know this. I don't remember anything said or written or read for 30 days.
Yeah, okay. So you remember King Hecaton has been kidnapped. And you also remember that Mordenkainen and his friends are unable to see who is currently occupying the throne. They mentioned a scepter that the ruler carries, which blocks that ruler from being scryed. And so they can't see directly who is here, but they do know that there's at least 2 of the king's daughters. They have not seen the queen. They have seen the king's brother, and they've seen another storm giant, a female storm giant. They're not quite sure who she is, but she seems to be functioning as some sort of advisor. And they fear that someone within the court was involved in the kidnapping. That's why they suggested that you have something that allows you to see through illusions. Because one of these people in the court may be posing as a storm giant, but may not be a storm giant. And with true seeing, you'd be able to suss that out and figure out what they actually are. If anybody is something other than what they appear. So that's what you guys know, and you're coming here because this is the closest place to investigate. You do know that the queen, the king Hecaton, and at least one of his daughters is very well disposed towards small folk. So they said that's why you were told not to come with a threatening posture, because if you come in friendship, the royal family, or at least whoever's left from the royal family, is not likely to immediately, pull weapons on you. They're not sure what kind of reception you're going to get, but they know that if you come in weapons bristling, you ain't gonna get a friendly reception. And against a bunch of storm giants, that's probably not a good idea.
So this is another Grackle Stug.
Sounds like it. But the thing is, maybe we just come in, polite. Captain C leading the charge. We just give him a pat. I give Falger a pat on the back. Captain C leading the charge on that, and we just come in all prim and proper. And I'll just throw this Gemma Sing up. I gotta fix my monocle real quick, and we can suss out that.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to be careful. I don't want to be swimming with the fishes.
No, at least you can breathe with them. Thank you, Mulek. That's the funny part. But also at that, I can also speak with Mulek and you. And I don't think storm giants know Elvish, so we have another way to communicate. I don't know what languages they know, but I don't think it'd be Elvish, or even Draconic. So, we have a way to communicate if we don't want them to understand what we're saying.
All right, so now let's figure out where we don't know what part of the keep we've come into, do we?
Yeah, as we mentioned before, you've heard the sounds of singing and a musical instrument echoing down this stairwell here, and you appear to be on the ground floor of this stairwell. It doesn't appear to go any further down. And of course, it's a stairwell that's sized for storm giants. So those stairs are pretty big. You see like a little alcove over here. You see a hallway here, and then this deep pool over here. So what would you guys like to do?
Well, after Des gets done eating, he'll change back into himself.
Okay.
Des, you got a little something hanging like right here.
He kind of.
You're good.
Okay. We're all good. I look good. I look great.
Cleans off the beard.
Is this giving off light? Is that what this thing is?
Yes, that is. That appears to be some sort. It's a globe, and it's diffusing whatever light is in there. You think it's probably some kind of continual light effect, but instead of looking like natural firelight, it is glowing with more of like a lavender color, or a light blue, or lavender sort of color. I guess lavender is darker and brighter blue, but it's kind of a light blue. It's illuminating.
Well, should we check out this floor, or do you guys want to go straight to the voice?
I'd be cautious of the voice. Maybe we should just search this level first, then move our way up level by level.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to kind of lead the way, Thaldor? Make sure we don't set off any traps or anything.
That makes sense to me. So yeah, I'm going to lead the way and make sure there's no traps or anything as we're going along.
Okay. So you head out over here, and
left or right, Mulek, Falger?
Did we didn't see any kind of like map / blueprint of this place, did we? When we found out any?
You did not. You did not.
I mean,
I rolled the dice.
I'm not really sure. Can I make a perception check?
Yeah, you can.
All right, high we go left and low we go right.
Oh, okay.
All right. Looks like we're going
That's really low.
Going
it's
right.
got to be fate. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Going right. We're going right. Okay.
Okay, so characters, right? Okay, Thaldor, as you get out here, you look to the north. A hallway stretches northward. There is an enormous statue at the end of the hall, depicts a life-size male storm giant blowing a pink and blue conch shell. There are giant-sized doors to either side of the statue. So the doors here and here are sized for storm giants.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Giant-sized doors again, everyone. Of course.
Well,
so
we've got IG. He can help.
Well, that's true. Can I peek under the doors? Is there a gap under these doors, or are they watertight?
These doors are, in fact, watertight.
Ooh.
These doors are sealed, and the mechanism to open them is strange. The doors are they look like they are made of some kind of metal. Your guess would be steel, but it's clear that because they get submerged, they're underwater, and there's no oxidation, there's no rust, which you would kind of think if there's, if you have steel that gets submerged and then exposed to air and then submerged and exposed to air again, you would expect it to rust. So somehow they've created steel that doesn't rust. And then there is a plate with a lock like you would normally expect to see for a key. But then instead of a traditional handle or doorknob, there is a chrome ring that's about 10 feet in diameter and has little spokes coming out from it. And it looks like you have to turn this ring. But you don't know whether you turn it to the left or the right or whatever. So opening this door is a multi-stage process. First, you have to unlock it, and then you have to figure out how to manipulate that ring to then be able to presumably open the door. And that ring is, of course, sitting up about 15 feet off the ground, where it would be at a comfortable height for a storm giant to manipulate.
Well, dang, fellas. I'm normally good with locks and things, but I've never seen anything like this before.
If my guardian gave you a lift up, would you be able to pick it, do you think?
My tools are small.
Yeah,
they wouldn't work for a giant-sized door. I mean, God, I could probably reach my hand in and mess with the mechanism at that instance.
You might lose your hand.
That's also fair.
Judging by these odd doors, I mean, what would Falzier think? Is something that leads out? Like, are we going the wrong way, or?
We don't know. It's just a door.
You have no idea. It's just a door.
Do we want to knock?
Perhaps we should just knock. I mean, what's wrong with that?
IG,
yeah.
Can you go knock? Can you get IG to knock on the door?
Yeah, and I'm going to stand next to the guardian as he knocks and determine when he knocks, whether I can determine if it's a water-filled chamber or not, based on the echo or the response of the sound.
Mulek hushes everybody and gets the shield guardian in position, and then Mulek, roll me a perception check as the shield guardian knocks. That's pretty good. Well, the first thing you gather is that this door is thick and this door is solid. This is a solid metal door that's pretty thick, and the shield guardian has a pretty hefty knock, and it sounds like it's covering a hollow area. It doesn't sound like it's covering an area that's filled with water.
So I relay that to the rest of the party. Well, then do we hear any? I guess I don't hear anyone coming to the door.
Nope. You wait a few minutes. Nobody comes to the door.
Trick or treat.
Looks like no one's home in this room. Doesn't sound like there's water in here, or at least
Can IG manipulate that knob-looking thing up there?
How he would have to reach up to like turn the bottom of it, but he could probably turn the bottom of it. If you ask him to do that, it doesn't budge because presumably the door is locked.
Got you.
Is it magically locked? Can I tell that?
Can you get up 15 feet to have a look at it?
I'll ask Mulek, like, hey, can I get up there? And one of us needs to get up there and see if it's magically locked or not.
I'll do it. I'm nimble.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I'm the rogue.
I'll have the guardian lift Thaldor up to take a better close.
Okay.
I know a little bit about locks.
Yeah, you know something about locks and the way they're made and everything, and you have seen arcane sigils. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check, Thaldor, to see if you.
Belle will try and like climb up just to try and see him too. She'll kind of touch him to give him guidance.
That's +4.
Oh, okay, so +4.
Well, a D4. Let me roll it.
You know, Belle's really good at this kind of stuff too.
Yeah, she is nimble.
So 17. Best you can tell, it's just mechanically locked. It doesn't seem to be locked by magical means.
So I just look down and say, yeah, I don't see many magical runes or symbols or anything that would mean it on the mechanisms. I would think it would be locked magically. Gally, can I use? I know I have proficiency with thieves' tools, but looking at the mechanism, do I think I can unlock it with my hands safely?
Probably not with your hands, but you have pretty good decks. You could, with the size of this thing, you might be able to use something like a pair of daggers and use those like thieves' tools. Now, because they are not actually thieves' tools and not intended for the job, you might get disadvantage on your roll, but you could roll your proficiency for using thieves' tools, but you just have to roll at a disadvantage because you're using a stand-in as thieves' tools.
Gotcha.
Now, if you could find yourself a storm giant rogue, and you could get your hands on some storm giant lockpicks, then yeah, you would be able to be proficient with those just like your own.
I think it's just my proficiency bonus plus.
Okay,
I'm trying to think.
Dratz is giving Doors of Fear advantage again. Since he used advantage before. So that means it's a flat roll. That means it's a flat roll instead of a disadvantage roll.
And I'll hand you a guidance.
One of your pills?
Yeah,
so I just chew it down, swallow it. Ooh, I feel great. Trying to figure out what roll that would be. Is it just a straight D20 roll? Yeah.
No. Yeah, I believe it's a sleight. I believe it's sleight of hand, and because you have thieves' tools, it gives you proficiency. You add your
on my. Oh, I guess on roll 20, I've got a Tinker's Tool thing that I can click and choose Dex as the thing. But
okay, yeah. If you click on Tinker's Tools,
thieves' tools.
Or thieves' tools, then it should ask you what skill, and you should be able to select Dex if you have it set up that way.
Yeah, if you picked thieves' tools, you should have that as an option.
Yeah, thank God for advantage. Hold on, that was horrible. I broke a dagger.
Okay, no, it's a flat roll. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
So you get a D4. But
yeah, D4. Ooh.
Man, you rolled a 1.
Yeah, I rolled a 1 and then rolled a 4.
Yeah, you roll a 1 and you manipulate, and you hear this telltale crack. And you're like,
snap the dagger.
Crap. And you gingerly start to pull your dagger out, and you realize your dagger is, you haven't lost a piece of the dagger in the lock, fortunately, but there is a hairline crack running down the blade of the dagger. So that dagger is no good. No, of course you were using a mundane dagger, not a magical dagger.
Yeah,
you wouldn't easily be able to destroy a magical dagger.
No.
That dagger is not going to be useful anymore until you can take it to a blacksmith and have it.
I'll have Crinraid fix it. He's a local blacksmith.
She'll pat Bowser's back and say, "Well, thank goodness I didn't give him your dagger." So kind of like nudge on to Bowser and hand back his dagger.
So I have one left. I'm good. I had the daggers. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, that door. That door you can try again in an hour on that door.
I'm going to try the other door then across the way.
The other door? Okay. All right. You guys going to have the Shield Guardian do the same thing? You do the same thing?
I'll give him another pill. Hopefully this pill works better for you.
Oh, no, the pill worked great. It was me. I just, this lock is just 10 times the size of what I'm normally used to dealing with. So I'm working with what I got, but I do have a crowbar. I didn't want to use a dagger. I could always throw my crowbar in there and try to manipulate the mechanism.
Yeah, you could take one dagger and one crowbar, and
I've got a piton too, or pipe.
I've got a few of those pitons. Yeah.
Piton, that would probably be a little bit too small.
Okay.
Because it would need something at least with the length of a dagger blade to work into the lock.
So, I can almost imagine Thal'dor doing this. So he's got the crowbar is what's holding the leverage. Like you're doing a tumbler lock. It's what's holding the leverage while the dagger is hitting the pins.
Yep.
So that's what I'm seeing is happening. He's reaching his hand in, hitting the pins with the dagger. And all of a sudden what happened was on the other door.
Before you do that though, we would have knocked.
Yeah, no, that's straight. I'm just saying. I'm just imagining like on the other door how I did was the dagger is hitting the pins, and then what happened was that last pin snapped on the dagger.
Yeah,
it was in my hand, but it was the dagger.
Okay, Mulek, do your perception check again as the Shield Guardian knocks. Okay, again, you're pretty sure it sounds hollow, and again. You wait. No sound from inside. No movement from inside.
All right. Sounds the same as the last one.
Okay. So Thal'dor, go ahead and make your use your thieves' tools again. And now, since you used your advantage on the last lock. This is again with disadvantage, but you do get the if he's given you the guidance, you get that D4 added on to both of your rolls. So, or just added on the higher of the two rolls.
Maybe I could help. I'll give you a big thumbs up. So I give him bardic inspiration too.
So
I got to roll again.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Let me roll again.
Okay, no, actually, she gave you inspiration. She gave you her inspiration, so it's a flat roll. So 24, and if you want to, you can use. It wouldn't be.
She gave me bardic inspiration. Be only a D8, isn't it? A D8.
Okay. Bardic inspiration. All right. So, disadvantage, but you add a D8 on the lower roll plus the D4 on the lower roll.
Then there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, so
plus a D8 plus a D4.
I'll roll them real quick. Give me a sec. There we go. Plus 6.
So 24. Yeah, you're this time. You kind of figure out what went wrong on the other door this time, and you have that satisfying little sound, and you're able to twist the tensioner, and you realize that now the door is unlocked.
And I tell the Guardian to turn that wheel.
And the Guardian tries turning the wheel the one way and it won't go. So then it starts turning the wheel the other way. Everybody make me a perception check as it starts turning this wheel.
Damn, there's a nat 20 I needed earlier.
Okay.
29.
All right. So Bell, Dez, and Faldor, all of you notice something interesting at the edges of this door. There's like a dark membrane of some type that has been pressed against the door frame above, below, and to either side of the door. And as the Shield Guardian is turning this silver handle, you see that membrane relaxes a little bit, and then after it's turned like 3, 4, 5 full revolutions, you can begin to see that membrane actually pull away from the door frame. And so now there is starting to be a gap underneath the door. So perhaps there is a way that you can see under the door, perhaps not.
Huh. That's interesting. Dez, you seen anything like that before?
I don't believe so. This is a new one for me.
What is it you guys saw? I was looking the other way.
Yeah,
what was it?
The thing around the door that was sealing the door is starting to contract as your Shield Guardian's turning I guess we'll call it a handle that opens the door.
Maybe it's some kind of watertight seal.
That's what I'm guessing.
Right for me, yeah. But it doesn't seem like there's any water behind these doors, right?
Well, but there might be at certain times, so it's probably
it's sealed to keep water out.
Yeah, out or in or whatever. Yeah.
Well, I guess we open the door, we'll find out.
Yeah. So
there should be no water inside.
When the Shield Guardian turns the silver handle 10 full revolutions, at the very end, like the last revolution, you hear a mechanical sound like a bolt sliding out of a actually it's probably several bolts sliding out of a door lock, and then the handle stops turning, and now presumably the door can be pulled open, because you can see that the hinges are on the north side and on the outside facing you. And these hinges are massive. There are 5 hinges. Each one is about 3 feet long, and the hinges look like they're a good 2 inches in diameter of solid steel. So big door hinges, big door.
So we want him to crack the door open then?
Okay, yeah. And the Shield Guardian can just grab onto that handle and walk backward, and the door swings open slowly because of its mass, but relatively easily and completely silently. So these hinges are well oiled.
Nice.
And as you look in, you see an enormous bedroom. There are 3 huge beds sized for storm giants. Then the beds are all well made. Nobody is using them. The walls are all of the same substance that you've seen so far. They're all the rocky coral that and limestone that this castle seems to be made from. It actually seems to be, carved out of the coral. So,
is it wet in here or dry in here?
It is dry in here, and you can tell that this place never gets flooded because of the carpeting and the furnishings and everything in here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if there's anything under the beds.
I guess we can see.
Yeah, you go in and you look under the beds. There's not even a dust bunny under the beds.
Wow.
The place is kept very clean. There are no personal belongings here. There are a couple of hooks on the wall, like where one might hang a cloak or hang something like that. And there is a place that looks like a big dowel where you might hang clothes, but there's no clothes hangers on it right now.
Maybe guest quarters.
Maybe. Can we test the door in front of us right here too? See if it's locked or anything?
Door has another lock mechanism, but it doesn't have that watertight mechanism, and this time it has a normal handle.
Oh, so I can look underneath the door.
Yeah, actually, you look underneath the door, and you can tell that there is a storage room.
Storage.
And there's some crates, there's some barrels. It looks just like a large closet.
It's just a larder in here. Just some crates and barrels. Don't look like there's anything in here of interest.
Okie doke.
Balzer's watching from the back over here next to Belle.
Okay.
She's crunching on crabs, and he's
okay. So you guys have, at this point, you've spent about 15 minutes so far. The singing continues upstairs. Every now and then, the music ends. So it's like somebody sings through a song, and they get to the end of the song, and the song ends, and then maybe a minute or two goes by, and then the music starts up, and the singing is again, and now they're singing a different song. So they probably sung like at this point about 3 or 4 different songs while you've been here.
That just runs down the hallway here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just running down the hallway.
All right, Thaldor, you get here, and now you see something a little bit different. You see the hallway to the east ends at a life-size stone statue of a female storm giant who is holding a harp and wearing a gown of purple coral. There are doors on the south wall. Each door is made of iron-bound oak, measures 15 feet tall by 7 feet wide, and neither door has a lock.
Huh. Do they look like the sealed big doors over there?
No. Different construction. Oak, bound with iron, not locked, and way too small to be doors for a storm giant.
Interesting. They're like human-sized doors, or are they?
Well, they're 15 feet tall, so they oversized for a human, but definitely with the width, it's closer to a human-sized door.
Interesting. Can I see under the doors?
No, because since it's smaller, there is a gap, but it's not enough of a gap that you can lean down and look under.
Okay, but I don't notice that weird ceiling around the door or anything.
Not sealed. And obviously there's no water flowing through it, so you would presume there's no water on the other side.
Fair. Mulek, can we get this door open?
Yeah, do you hear anything on the other side?
I can put my ear against it.
Okay.
I'll put Mary against the door.
You listen. You don't hear anything.
Nothing. I guess we can just open the door.
All right. IG, go open the door.
Okay. IG steps up to the door, opens it, and you see a what clearly is a bedroom with beds sized for medium-sized creatures.
For our size.
Yes. And there's a large barrel over here. There's a couple of empty there's an empty dresser and an empty wardrobe. Circular rug, 5 comfortable beds, all neatly made. Wardrobe over here, dresser over here.
Yeah,
and as you open the drawers, there's nothing in them.
I'm thinking this is all guest quarters down here.
What I'm thinking, this is quite odd. They would have a guest quarters our size. From what Morning Canyon told us, are they polite with small folk?
Unlike the royal family is friendly with small folk.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
we have visitors from all over.
Right. Well, I guess if these are just guest quarters, should we all go upstairs, everyone?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get much else down here. I mean, we could go check out these water pools really quick, and then, I could make you invisible, send you up to kind of do a little scouting of the top before we all go up there.
See invisible.
Oh, they can see invisible.
And, yeah, they can. Yeah.
Once he mentions something about the water and going invisible, she'll kind of just sink her claws a little bit into Faerun, more like, don't get any ideas.
Mulek's just going to walk up. He's going to walk down to this other small pool and just kind of... Okay. As you approach this area here, Mulek, the air gets warmer and moister. And when you look in here, you can see that whereas this pool here is filled with water that is, that is kind of, there's like a chill coming off of the water. Where it would seem like seawater, there is definitely a heat coming off of this water. And make me a perception check as you get about here and look in here. Okay, yeah, you can see that this whole chamber in here glistens, and there's like little spatter marks as though it regularly is bathed in steam.
Oh, it's like a geyser. I think this pool heats up the area. We probably don't want to get too close. We might get burned.
Sounds like a plan.
Looks like we've only got one way to go here.
Well, let's just all go up the steps. I mean, if the royal family is kind to small folk and guests, I mean, maybe, like I said, we got Captain C. We could talk our way out of a wet paper bag.
Do we have a story of why we are here?
No, we probably need to come up with one.
Yeah. I mean, we could act dumb. We are travelers and just ended up coming here. We don't know how we got here.
It's worked in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to represent us. Morning Canaan didn't really give us any guidance. He just said, don't go with the threatening manner.
We can be here for entertainment and for like trying to figure out new songs and stuff. Isn't that right, Ballinger? She'll kind of like pat his shoulder very hardly and roughly. You can hear the pounding on his shoulder, like, come up with an idea. I don't know.
Actually, you know what, Belle? You just came up with a great idea, because Faerun is a world-renowned bard. Not saying your prowess. Y'all played together for years.
We're a traveling troupe.
Traveling troupe. I am his manager. Makes sense. We were told to come here and thought that they might enjoy his music.
Des pulls out his pan flute. I can always play.
Yeah,
And he
traveling
looks
troop.
big and scary, so you can also be a bodyguard.
A bodyguard.
Oh, a bodyguard, but okay.
That was actually my speech impediment coming out. Thank you, but yes, I'll play along with it.
That worked out really well.
All right. So,
so that's our story. We're a traveling musical troupe that was told that they might enjoy our musical prowess, and we were told to come here and play for you.
So you guys are planning to go up the stairs, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, I am going to move you guys into a convenient clumping. Convenient for my purposes. And I will put you kind of as let me make sure, because Thalador is probably going first.
Climbing these big ass steps.
With probably...
Oh, it's just being a backpack.
Faliger coming
She's not
next.
touching this ground.
Yeah, all right. So now that you're all clumped up here, I'll go ahead and copy you guys from this map, and I'll bring you over to this map, and I will paste you here. Okay, so you guys are, I guess, Thalador, would you be going first? Would you be going ahead of the group?
Yeah, just a little bit, just to scout.
Okay.
Like, not search every room, but like just
okay. It's just a spiral staircase that goes up, and it apparently goes up one level. Although being a giant thing, you feel like you're climbing about 60 or 70 feet. To go from the floor you were on to the floor you're up, and each one of these steps is about 4 feet high. So you guys are kind of having to scramble your way up. None of you, including the Shield Guardian, have a way of climbing up. Now, I seem to recall that at some point you guys did something to give some kind of dampening thing to the Shield Guardian, so it's not just clomp steel on stone.
We covered him in leather and wood.
That would have worn off, though.
But would you have redone that at some point?
If we had the material,
you would have been able to find materials at the Cloud Giants.
Yeah, coming up the stairs, we definitely would have.
Yeah,
bound up the feet.
Yeah, all right. So, you guys are coming up there. So, Thalador, go ahead and make me a stealth check.
One of my best rolls. 19.
19. Okay. The sound of the music and singing gets louder and louder as you climb up. So you're definitely moving towards the source of this. And that means that everybody who is in here has, is distracted. And then let's see. So, whoops. That's why I am not finding it, because it's a. Okay, so let's do this. Let me open up the character sheet and let me see what it's. Okay, yeah. Actually, what did you roll? Okay, you rolled. All right. Then everybody in here is kind of distracted by the singing. And as you clamber up, you notice this. This scene is before you. All right, so let me read the description of what you are seeing here. Music fills this hall as you first arrive. The room is split into 2 levels. A 15-foot-high raised ledge hugs the walls to the north and east, and gently sloping ramps lead up to it. The acoustics here are excellent. Barnacle-covered pillars of hewn rock rise to meet the vaulted ceiling, and a huge crystal window allows in light that casts beautiful patterns on the walls. And oh yes, out through that window, which is right over here, you see that you are deep under the ocean. On the other side of that pane of crystal is the ocean. You can tell that by the huge fishes and other sea life that swim by the window. So you are deeply under the water.
Kind of whimper and say, "Am I in a nightmare?"
Okay.
You'll be okay.
Under the crystal window is a hulking crab with colored nodules and hollow flutes of beautiful coral growing out of its shell. This creature appears to be a living instrument because there are 2 female storm giants standing on either side of it. Let me see, which one is the singer and which one? Okay. This storm giant over here is singing, while this storm giant over here has 2 mallets, and these mallets appear for 21st century people, they would be like oversized timpani mallets, but they're for your eyes they would be like large clubs that have some kind of cloth or felt wrapped around the end of it. And this storm giant is actually tapping on the hulking crab. And as she taps on the crab, it makes these noises. And she taps in different patterns, and every place she taps produces a different sound from the crab. And those sounds appear to be coming up through those flutes or pipes on the shell of the crab itself. This other one over here to the north is the one that is singing, and she has just a beautiful, beautiful singing voice. So as the nodules on the shell are tapped, the motion tickles the crab and causes it to exhale a burst of air through one of its coral pipes, producing a deep tone similar to that of a pipe organ. Performing next to the ledge are 2 storm giants. Like I said, the one is singing, the other one is playing the instrument. And the sister, or they bear a family resemblance. So these 2 are entertaining several high-ranking visitors. There is a cloud giant, a fire giant, a cloud giant male, a fire giant female, and a frost giant male. There is also a stone giant who appears to be male. And the watching these visitors are a pair of storm giant guards. So the guards are here and here, and then you have the cloud giant, the fire giant, the frost giant, and the stone giant. And these large shells appear to be kind of arranged loosely like seats that people could sit on, although the giants seem to be standing. And then there's like a pool of water here in the middle of this. So what would you like to do?
I look out as I'm tucked against this wall. I look out and see this magnificent sight. My eyes just go wide. I'm like, holy shit. And then I not tumble down the stairs, but walk back down to my group and go, my God, it's magnificent. I've never seen, we've been on some crazy freaking adventures, but I've never seen anything like this. This is magical. And I say, what do y'all want to do? I mean, they're up here performing. I mean, I don't know. It's just a big performance.
Yeah. And
William?
you said a bunch of different giants, right?
Yeah, Gally, I saw them. Like, there's different types of giants.
Yeah, the 2 performers and the 2 guards are storm giants. Although the 2 performers appear to be, I mean, they're female, but you would guess they're like, they're not teenage giants, but they're probably like in their early 20s.
So from what I would know,
they're young adults. All the others are adult giants, the guards and these 4 giants of other races.
So we were looking for the daughters of the of the thing. Okay, I have an idea.
Did you use your?
You've read my mind. I swear you're a mind reader. I know I can read. I know I'm gonna finish your sentence there, Mulek. Did I use the gem of seeing?
Yeah.
No, but I'm about to. So I go right back up to the corner. I peek my head out and I apply the gem of seeing.
Make me another stealth check as you come back to the point where you can look on the. Oh, okay. All right.
Plus 13, guys. Rogue. Plus 13. And it only goes up from there when we get to higher levels.
He said he was going to go steal the keys right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm just going to go anywhere I want. You know, what's invisibility, right?
Okay. So as you look,
I'll take off one of the charges of the gem of seeing.
Yeah, as you look, now also double check that gem. I think it lasts for an hour. Is
10
that
minutes.
right?
It's 10 minutes per use.
10 minutes. 10 minutes per
Right.
use.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a storm giant. This is a cloud giant. This is a fire giant. This is a storm giant. This is a frost giant. This is a stone giant. This is a big ass crab.
Right.
This is a storm giant, and this is a storm giant. With true seeing, they are all exactly what they seem to be.
Okay, so the crab is really a crab. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Crab's
really a crab.
Crab's really a crab. Okay, so besides that freaking me out because it's 5 times my size,
Is it like a live crab? Like it's actually a crab that's played as.
You didn't see it. You didn't see it yet.
No, but like out of character, like, is it?
Yeah, it's like
it is. It is a live crab.
Oh my god!
So I, since you can't see me anyways, as stealthy as I am, I come back and just pop up right next to Mulek and tap him on the shoulder. Mulek.
Yeah. Whoa. There you are.
Right. Yeah. No. Everybody seems on the up and up. They're not what they're not. They appear to be what they are. So they're truly. Let's see, we have 2 storm giants, a cloud giant, a fire giant, a frost giant, and a stone giant. So it's a good mixed party in there.
That's weird.
Right? The 2 youngest giants look like sitting up on top of the pedestal playing the crab. No stabby this crab, Belle. Playing the crab. That might be the daughters of the king, I imagine, because from what I would know, they're young, maybe the princesses. I am not 100% positive, but I would make that assumption.
Well, I'm wondering
Princess, you say?
I'm wondering if you could...
no, Fallinger. No, they would kill you.
I wonder if you could maybe just get in close and see if you can hear any discussion or whatnot. I'm a little nervous about just kind of barging in the middle of this performance.
As you all are sitting there talking, the song ends, and now you're close enough to hear polite applause from the gathered people applauding. And then you hear a melodious voice and says, Thank you. Yes, my sister Mirren has a lovely singing voice. Sister, do you have time for one more song, or is your voice getting tired? And the one who's being addressed says, Oh, of course, Nim. I can sing one more song for our guest.
That answers that question.
Let's see. We've sung a cloud giant dirge. We've sung a fire giant reel, and we have sung a stone giant ballad. I think now we will sing in honor of our
the frost giant.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to in honor of Jarl Helenhild, we will sing a frost giant battle hymn, and you can hear a gruff male voice go, "Here, proper music, finally," and
Thor starts just giggling softly.
Yeah, then there's like a little pause, and you can almost hear like the count, the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then the music starts up, and this is a kind of an imperial type of music. It's different than the song that they were just singing, and then the one called Mirren, who is providing the singing, her voice echoes out, and it's this kind of operatic type of very strong, chant that's in a language that you guys probably don't understand. Does anybody speak giant?
I do.
Oh, okay. Then you would understand it, and it's clearly talking about the heroes of the snow, and how the riding forth on the crest of the avalanche, going to battle, and drawing the blood of their foes, and all this kind of stuff and whatnot. So it's a very militaristic song that seems perfectly appropriate as a battle hymn. And
just going, I want to join. Des, do I smell like crabs? She'll kind of blow in Dez's face. It's like, oh.
He kind of was like, honey, don't do that.
Do I? She kind of like put her paw and like breathe into her own face, and it's like, ugh, hair.
No, you don't.
You're fine.
You're fine.
Okay, good. It's a big crabby thingy that I can't stab, sadly. Won't get upset.
No. Ballinger, Mulek, everybody, should we just go in?
Well, I mean, what's our game plan? Should we do like some kind of grand entrance and I just pretend like I'm some ambassador from like Waterdeep or something, but I'm a famous bard?
We haven't been invited. I almost.
Well, maybe we just make something up like the dragon cult's on the rise, and we've been sent here to seek out the strongest of the giants.
The truth of the truth is not going to get us anywhere on this.
Well, I mean, at the very least, it's not really a lie because the dragon cult is on the rise.
No, because
they hate dragons.
That's fair.
Ballinger, there's a mole. Like there's a giant that's working with the storm of the cult.
Well, hold on.
Wait, what?
Hold on.
There's a storm giant working for the cult?
No, there's a changeling that looks like a storm giant working for the cult. We talked about that earlier. No, but what I'm saying is we had a plan that, we were invited here, hint, hint, to play for them because you're the best bard on the top side world of the small folk.
Invited by who? Who should I say we invited us?
Well, what about if we drop the name Mordenkainen? And it's got us good places so far.
Or what if the king invited us and we don't know that the king has been imprisoned?
That's true.
But then that would make us like.
And it's taken us a while.
I don't know. We're innocent
here because we're very, very busy.
Yeah, but how do we explain that we teleported into their sanctum?
We were given the conch.
By who?
Hey, you guys have the conch.
Yeah, right. The conch. So yeah,
but we have to explain it.
You, if you're gonna, Mystic Voice of the Universe suggests that if you're gonna say the king invited you, it would be reasonable that the king gave you a way of getting here.
That's fair. That's fair. They wouldn't know
and maybe sent it by messenger.
There you
to
go.
you along with a summons.
And we just play dumb. We're just the dumb entertainers.
All right. Well, you can use some of that. Idea. You can use some of that strange luck magic you got, Mulek, on me, and we'll just pray to gods that I can bullshit our way out of this, I guess.
You're the best bullshitter I know.
What magic were you looking for? Yeah,
don't you have something? I don't know.
Well, I can help you. I can help you do a little bit extra. But if you've got to persuade them, that might be something else that I might not have. But here, I'll walk over and I'll give you a little bit of fortune's favor.
Okay, so yes, Dratz suggests, what's the chances of one of the bards entering the room and secretly providing backup singing? Alternatively,
I can't sing their music.
The bards are here doing a pop-up music event. Who would suspect popping up in the middle of an already going event?
Well, it's great. I love the idea of just like
I'll go up and I'll do it.
It's me and Belle, baby. Let's go. We're bards.
Yeah, that's true. Y'all are the bards.
We could just like, what do they call that? Like, it's like mob crash or something, but it's more like a
flash mob.
Flash mob. We're gonna flash mob this throne room here.
Well, Thaldor suggests, why don't you flash mob it at the end of their performance, like right at the crescendo at the very end?
I don't want to be rude, of course.
Des, you understand what they're saying, don't you? I have no idea this language.
Des will translate whatever is being sung about.
Okay. And you guys, the bards as well as Des, if nobody else knows this, you have enough of an understanding of music to understand, even if you don't understand the words and aren't familiar with the melody, you can kind of tell as music is building towards a crescendo or building towards the end. And so you guys can time this so that as you can tell that the performers are building and she's holding the long final note, and even as your bard senses tell you this is the end, you can hear the voice of the same voice that said finally proper music is raised and says bravo, bravo, even as the note is still being held.
That'd be the time to strum your lutes and walk out the stairs.
Yell at Des, like, come on, you too. She turns pale, she says, we got this, and gives.
Does anybody have like a? Yeah, I give her bardic inspiration as well. Why not? Hey, it's two bards. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, maybe like, does anybody have a way to like make an announcement of trumpets?
So. Basically, Des basically steps forward and says, since I speak and I understand giant,
introduce them.
You two, come.
I will introduce and whatnot. So he will actually get a hold of his pipes and We'll, straighten his outfit a little bit and kind of square his shoulders, and then he will, once I can find him in the crowd.
Well, before Falliger turns to Kinraid and he's like, "All right, Kinraid, play the hell out of that drum and use that cowbell."
And
need more cowbell.
He'd be excited.
All right, will do. All right, so as three of you move, the finally that's enough motion that the passive perception of the storm giants notices you, and as you two emerge, this storm giant steps up here. Just kind of, it's got a long pike, or it's got like a halberd, so a pike with a axe at the end of it, and it moves forward here. This other storm giant moves forward here, and they both raise their halberds, and they hold out their hands, and they say, "Halt!" And the two storm giant youths or young women up here, they go, "Small folk intruders!"
And before anything else can really get going, Des does the great sweeping bow and tries to announce at the top of his lungs, ladies and gentlemen, giants, blah, blah, blah. So that's, he'll try to get people's attention first.
What does Des say?
Des,
Des speaks in giant, so you guys
we would know.
But basically, he'll do a very gracious bow, and then
make a persuasion check.
Okay. He will do his best. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. You start off
Lords and ladies.
Persuasion. No, you need a persuasion, not a perception.
Oh, gosh, damn it.
Persuasion.
I got excited for a second.
Oh Lord.
No,
inspiration now. Now, someone give Des inspiration if you have it.
Does anybody have it? No. Does anybody have inspiration? DM inspiration that they haven't used.
If she doesn't have it, I'll give it her mine.
I don't.
Okay, so you. Oh wait, no, you got chronal shift. So use chronal shift.
Okay.
Oh no!
So roll a persuasion again.
Sir.
Okay.
Oh, that's much better.
Much better. Okay. You start first, and your voice cracks a little bit, and there's the two storm giant youths up here. They have used the word intruders. The cloud giant picks up its great sword. The fire giant picks up this huge maul. The frost giant has this great axe that just appears to be made almost out of living ice. Yeah. And the stone giant over here has this great club that it just sort of grounds on the floor in front of it, and it looks at you furiously.
Continues to do the bowing gesture sweep, goes to speak, coughs a little bit. Excuse me. It has been a while since I have used your language, your very eloquent language. And then he's basically, lords and ladies, we, the troop of, what the hell were we calling ourselves? Out of character.
You think you'd probably be like Falliger or something.
The Faerun Bell group have been invited by your most magnanimous king and have given us the opportunity to come here to bring you our form of entertainment for you. And we have finally arrived and would like to give you this pleasure of performing for you and allow you to enjoy the dulcet tunes and sounds of our fantastic, wonderful bards. Trying to use all the appropriate, what little bit of manners and grace and poise and everything that he knows how to do. So,
okay, as you speak, the stone giant steps forward, not in a threatening way, but just kind of more in a very curious way, looking at you. And Des, as you sort of finish, even before Faerun or Bell can say anything, the two women back here, their fingers are pointed out at you all, and they kind of screech and they say, "They implicate themselves. They say they were invited by our father. They must be the small folk with the Lord's Alliance that have killed our father. Arrest them." They
and
must
Des looks up and goes, I am sorry, my ladies. What do you mean? It has been some time since we spoke to, or we received the summons from His Majesty.
Yeah, I whisper out. Thaldor's hidden right here, and I'm whispering to Des real quick, and I just say, Des, the messenger. We had a messenger that brought us the conch, and if we need it, I can provide it.
And he kind of goes, we were invited by a messenger who brought us the conch to allow us to travel here. We mean no harm. We've done nothing. We're simple entertainers.
Faerun sees it starting to go south, so he just looks at Bell. He starts playing, and maybe they'll let him continue.
Bella just have her dulcimer and have it in her hands with a smile on her face, like, do they give us the honors? Are they coming to give us credit? Okay, let's go.
Just keep playing.
He kind of gives, well, he just gives a look at Bell, and maybe Bell will realize it's just something that him and Bell used to make up this really fun drinking song or whatever. Like we used to hang out and camp.
So
backstory.
Make a performance check.
Well,
both. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say it would be something that we spent a lot of time together, me and her, just traveling by ourselves, and we used to make up songs and things like that. And it would be something we kind of came up with. And as a joke, I was gonna be like, I play the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin, but that was that was just a silly joke. Anyway,
34.
So that's what we did. Let me roll a
34 for Bell.
I'm giving myself
Jesus, and you wonder how I go disappear. There you go.
That's not too bad.
Okay, roll
You have Bardic Inspiration for me.
She gave you Bardic Inspiration, so you roll.
It's a 21.
Well, I could use that on top of it.
There you go.
So go ahead and
do that. Boy.
Okay.
Wow.
What a waste.
22.
22. Okay. So clearly Bell is Faerun is playing the basic melody that he remembers them making up, and Bell is just kind of improvising around this. And
so is Bell playing Inagata Devita?
She knows the song that he's going for, so she'll want to play that, but she's a little bit too hyped up, and she stringed it a little bit too loud, and she'll be humming along already, just be so excited when he's a little bit nervous.
but despite Belle's nerves, that instead of making her falter, it's just she's finding she's finding gaps in the music that she didn't even realize were there and filling them with just the perfect counterpoints and notes and things like that. And the thing that you guys start to realize is that this storm giant here, he starts to relax a little bit. This storm giant here starts to relax a little bit. The stone giant walks over and lays a hand on the fire giant's shoulder, and the fire giant looks at him, and then the stone giant just kind of smiles and begins to nod, and the fire giant looks back at you all and looks back at the stone giant, looks back at you all, and then he starts to sort of nod. And then the stone giant will eventually come and stand right here between these two guards. The others move. This one, the cloud giant, moves like to the base of this ramp here, and the frost giant moves to the base of this ramp here. And you get the idea that they're kind of moving just in case anybody tries to go for the ramp going up towards the two women, that they're going to be there to kind of cut them off. That's kind of what it looks like they're doing. But you guys play for a couple of minutes, and then the okay, no, you don't move. You finish playing where you are, and the actually, if you do start to move, immediately these storm giants will move towards you, and they'll tense back up again. They don't
like the fact that we're kind of dancing while we're playing. Okay.
Well, they're as long as you dance in place, it's fine. If you start wandering around the room while you dance, that's going to get them kind of freaked out. So, if you dance in those squares there, you guys can dance around each other. That's fine. But just kind of stay in the area where you are, or else you realize quickly this is a very tense situation, partly because two of the people that
labeled us as intruders and killing their father. And
probably are. Yeah, they seem to indicate they're part of the royal family. Everybody else here is guests. You have claimed the right of guests, but all these other giants are still kind of suspicious of you at this point. The stone giant seems a little less so. He seems a little more amenable to you guys, and you finish up your song, and he looks at you all, and he says, well, that was very good.
Does he say this in common or giant?
He says that in giant, expecting to be understood. He says, that was very well done. Don't you all think? And he turns to the other giants, and the other giants, they kind of look at each other and they kind of nod. And
we were singing in common, so if that helps.
That's fine, but Des will nod to the giant, and as he gets done asking everybody, Des will of course straighten up, being the tallest one of this group, and looks up at the giant and goes, and then looks around and goes, "My lord and ladies, what style of music would you like us to entertain you with tonight? Ballads of love, songs of sorrow?" And he's kind of doing this little, thing with his hands, like.
Are you speaking in giant? Yes. Are you speaking in giant? Okay.
Yes. Ballads of war, or songs of war. What would you like?
The guests start to raise hands like they're going to speak, but before they can speak, the two stone giant women or storm giant women in the back, they say, "Guards, did we not give you a command? Why have they not been arrested?" And the stone giant turns and says, "Princess Mirren, Princess Nim." This is all in giant, so Dez is all having to translate all this for everybody. "Princess Mirren, Princess Nim, these small folk claim to have an invitation from the king. I think we should verify this."
As motions for the conch to be given to him.
I bring Dez the conch. I just right here and I hand it to Dez.
Okay.
Dez kind of holds it up above his head and said, "This is what we received with a message and summons from His Majesty."
And one of the storm giant guards will he doesn't let go of his halberd, but he will use it kind of more like a walking staff, and he will step towards you around this, and he will reach out a hand to kind of to indicate you should hand the conch up to him.
And Dez kind of looks up at the gentleman and goes, "If we give this to you, when we are done performing for you and your entertainment, will we be sent back home? This is kind of our way out."
Actually, I whispered to Dez, "It's our only way here. It doesn't get us out."
Okay. Well, he's still kind of doing the whole, will you be able to, send us home? And he hands it over at that time.
And the storm giant says, I think that for that, we should leave that final decision up to the princess. She is the one that is seated on the throne in the place of her father.
I am very sorry. We received our summons a time ago, and we have just now been able to finally make it.
Tell them I speak for this group.
And so Dez kind of bows towards Faerun and then bows towards their highnesses. "Your highnesses, this gentleman wishes to speak to you, and I will translate. And so, go ahead, Faerun."
Well, I'm the great Faerun, also ambassador for Waterdeep. Can we speak in common? My giant would just be insulting to your ears.
I said that I would translate.
Do they speak common at all?
Well, let's find out. Actually, those guys do. I don't know if all of them do. Okay. The fire giants do not. The storm giants do. The fire giants do not. The stone giants do not. Cloud.
Dez will look at Faerun and go, "I will translate for you."
The cloud giants do.
And we are their guests, and we shall make sure that they feel comfortable with us, and I will speak their language to them.
Yeah. Frost, fire, and stone giants do not. Cloud and storm giants do speak common. So, it has to be spoken in giant for all of them to understand.
Right. So he could have a discussion with the princess, right? And then Des could just translate to the rest of the dragons.
And the giants.
Giants. What'd I say?
Dragons.
Dragons.
My bad.
You still got dragons on the brain.
Guess so.
You could speak, and the guards, and the princesses, and this cloud giant over here would understand you, but
okay.
You'd have to. These other three, this guy, and this guy would have to be translated for. So.
Well, that's fine. Des can translate what I say, so they can understand. I'm not addressing them anyway.
They know that we're speaking true, because Des will act like nobody speaks common.
Okay, go ahead.
What?
Basically, it just shows that, another way to prove that we are quote unquote innocent, because they can understand common, and we can just assume that none of them speak common, so they're going to hear common, hear what you say, they'll hear what I say in giant, and see that it
backs them up. It's backing. Yeah, it's backing.
Right. Right.
Anyway, please continue.
So what happens? They just keep us right there, or do they?
Well, you want to say something to him, so go ahead and talk to him. You said I speak for the group, and you're
going to have to yell it.
So you have to say, you have to come up with something to tell them.
Am I to speak from here, or may I approach the royal court?
Des will translate.
And the storm giant guard says, if you wish to speak to, God bless it, if you wish to speak to Princess Sarissa, then we should go to the throne room. And he says that in common, and the two sisters back here, they say, no, they will attempt to harm our sister the same way they harmed our father.
Which one said that?
We'll say that's Nim, the one that was playing the crab.
Okay, but she's not the princess?
Well, they're princesses, but not
she is a princess.
Yeah, who's sitting on the throne?
These are two sisters, and they are talking about Princess Sarissa, which is in a different location.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, insight. Can I insight the one that just spoke?
Sure.
Just precaution. Okay.
She seems very earnest that in a belief that you intend harm. Sure. She genuinely believes that small folk are not to be trusted. You're not sure whether she really believes that small folk had something to do with her father's disappearance, but she genuinely dislikes and distrusts small folk. So an 18 is not good enough to get like a real read on all the subtle emotions, but generally she's speaking from a point of her honest biases.
Was she speaking common or giant?
She will speak back to she will reply in common, and she's speaking as much for the guards as she is for your benefit. And the guards are like, okay, she's and the guards are like, they're kind of looking at you. They're giving you these. Yeah, the guy took the conch shell.
Which one?
Shell. This guy, right?
Okay.
The guy.
Both kind of raise their hand, say, Madame, I think we're kind of missing something. What happened to the king?
And she sneers. She sneers at you and says, "Yes, of course you would say that you do not know what happened to our father. I imagine
really,
you were
Madame,
the one."
I really don't.
And she says, "Guards, either arrest them or bring them to the throne room where our sister can examine them and see the treachery that they bring to our midst."
Well, that sounds like a good idea.
Des looks at the guy that took the conch shell and say, "We'd prefer to see Her Highness."
Do you like music?
Because, well, she just said she didn't want us going there, and we would prefer to speak to the one who sits upon the throne at this time.
And the giant nods, and then he turns to the other giants. Okay, now are you speaking in giant or are you speaking in common?
I'm speaking in giant, but I'll then kind of turn and translate for our group.
This guard will turn to the other giants and say, "This is a conch of teleportation that is like the one that King Hecaton gives to guests, just like the ones you used to come here. They have not threatened us, but as you can tell, the two princesses do not trust them. Would you all accompany us into the throne room and be sure that the small folk do not get out of hand?" And the other giants, they kind of all nod. And then
Des will look at the others and go, "On your best behavior."
He says to you, Des, "Now, all of your group emerge, come out now, and this will be peaceful. Try to hide from us, and it will go poorly for you."
While all this was going on, Mulek took the 10 minutes to cast Comprehend Languages, so now Mulek can understand Giant.
Who's the one that was invisible?
No. I'm right next to you, Des. They can see
me. Nobody is invisible. Okay, so
good.
Krenraid comes up, and as Krenraid comes up, the fire giant just sort of bares his teeth at that, and
and Des will walk up behind Krenraid and smack him on the back of the head. Behave politely.
Okay. And so with I suppose you guys could choose to see it as a guard of honor. If you really hold your mouth right and want to look at it that way. You all are led to the south. And you are led towards this door where there are two hill giants standing in front of these huge doors, and the two storm giant guards are immediately behind you all. The frost giant decides he's going to go over here to make sure you can't get up this ramp. And as you get here, the two hill giants, they start to pick up clubs, and then they look at the storm giants, and they say, "Oh, you bring us dinner?" And the storm giants say, "No, Tug, Cog, open the door. these small folk have business with Princess Cesare. And they go, oh, that's sad. And they open the doors, and then you guys can hear the heavy footfalls as these other giants sort of fall in behind you. And then you can hear the sounds of the two storm giant princesses coming down, and that is where we will end tonight. Next week, you will enter the throne room and
turn up the charm.
Yes, this is a tunnel here, and the doors are actually down here. So I guess you guys would actually be in this tunnel with the two storm giants behind you, and then these guys all filtering in to the back. You notice that the cloud giant and the stone giant are the two that walk closest behind you. The frost giant and the fire giant interpose themselves between the cloud giant, the storm giant, and the two princesses. So it's like, yeah, they're like making sure that if you guys decide you're going to try something funny, you got to cut through all these giants to get to them.
Right.
So we'll kind of turn to the group and say, well, I do hope the princesses don't dislike us. I hope we did good music, didn't we?
Bill, I thought you did awesome.
That will be a little bit insecure, thinking that she did badly.
No, Theodore comes and gives her a pat on the back and says, no, you did phenomenal. It's nothing is your fault. This is an awkward situation. Okay. And this is how we're going to have to handle it, apparently. And I tap Falger on the back. I hope you can handle this, Falger.
And as the doors open, you can see before you a great throne room. There's kind of an amphitheater style, some amphitheater style seating at the back of the throne room, and the tunnel, the doors that you come out is in a tunnel underneath those. There's a large pool in the middle. There is a huge throne on which a young storm giant woman sits. This throne is surmounted by 4 skulls of blue dragons. And the sitting to her right is a storm giant man who looks like he is probably old enough to be her father. To the left is a storm giant woman who looks like she's about old enough to be her mother. And that's what you see.
Before the end of the session tonight, I do want to burn another socket of my Gem of Seeing to look at these people and see what I see.
Let's just make sure. From Thaldor.
120 feet.
Yeah, let's just.
Did you have to burn another one? Wasn't it good for?
It's 3 charges. I've used this to be my second charge.
It's good for only 10 minutes. It's good for only 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 115, 115, 115. Yeah, okay. So what you notice is that this is a hill giant. This is a hill giant. This is a storm giant. This is a storm giant seated on a throne that is surmounted by 4 blue dragon skulls. This is not a storm giant. This is a huge, enormous blue dragon.
Oh, I knew I should have used my wand of dragon detection.
I lean over real quick to Mulek and say, something's not right in the state of Denmark.
Wait, what?
And that's where we are going to end, everyone. Okay, so players, thank you guys for coming out.
No.
Paul, hope you have a chance to listen to this during the week. You missed a fun session. Hope you will be able to join us next week because we will definitely be in for some fun at the beginning of next week's session. Viewers, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Hope you enjoyed the session and hope you will enjoy where this goes next week. And with that, since Paul isn't here, I'm going to throw it to Michael. Dorzafir, what's coming up on your channel between now and next Thursday?
Well, I was going to say, after my big 12-hour stream I had the other day, probably just playing some more games. Like I said, I play a bunch of different games. So if anybody wants to come by and chit-chat with me and have fun, just come check out my channel.
Okay. And then let's see. On Saturday night, we're not going to have a game. I'll be at the stadium for a soccer match on Saturday night. Sunday afternoon, we will have our Walker of Waterdeep game. They are finally close to solving the mystery of Dark Magic Mansion. And so that should be kind of fun to see how that goes. And then on Monday night, we will be doing part 2 of our Monster Monday on the Slod. This last Monday, we did the first part where we talked about the history of the Slod through the various editions of D&D, and boy, are there a lot of them. There's a ton of Slod, all the way from first edition up through today, and so many cool different ways you can use them. And on Monday night this week, we are going to focus on just that, where Slod would be appropriate to use in your campaign, and how you might use them as a recurring enemy that the party faces as they go through the levels, and then sort of ideas for what would be behind the use of Slod in the campaign. So join us for that, and that will be on Monster Monday. And then, of course, next Thursday at 8 p.m., we will be back for another edition of Sword Coast Chronicles, where
hopefully they don't, kill everybody. Get everybody killed.
Yeah.
I will let you know. Trust me.
Yeah.
I hope you don't say anything when I let you know.
The good thing is, while you feel a bit nervous, you realize that, you might be in a situation of enemy of my enemy. At least you know there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 giants that probably don't have a whole lot of love for, a giant dragon.
The D word.
Yeah. So.
The big D.
All right. Viewers, thanks again. We're going to go ahead and take off. Have a great week, and we hope we will see you on some of the other streams. We'll hope we see you back again.